First thing we'll dive into is the big thing. Dearica Hamby came out on Instagram and shared a number of accusations of her mistreatment in the Las Vegas Aces franchise, and that came out days after she was, not days, I think it was really in the hours after she was traded for Amanda Zowie B and some draft picks and sent to the Los Angeles Sparks. She said, being traded is a part of the business. Being lied to, bullied, manipulated, and discriminated against is not. I have had my character and work ethic attacked. Lower down in the piece, she says, the unprofessional and unethical way that I've been treated has been traumatizing. To be treated this way by an organization, by women who are mothers, who have claimed to be in these shoes, who preach family, chemistry, and women's empowerment is disappointing and leaves me sick to my stomach. Marissa, what was your first reaction when you read Dearica's post?
I mean, I felt for her as, a player, like recently watching my sister-in-law going through her pregnancy and then like seeing her as a mom. It's a lot, what you go through. And I think what stuck out for me the most was her comment on like, that organization is made up of moms and women that have played in the league or been around the league, or at least just at the bottom line played basketball. So it's kind of like the sisterhood of it all at the bottom line. And then I think the most disappointing thing for me is Vegas portraying themselves of this progressive for the players, by the players team. Like, we're changing the culture, we're doing this. And it's like, then you hear what they put Dearica through. It's almost like, okay. Like it's just disappointing that they're portraying one thing and Dearica's was treated a different way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really ugly precedent, I think, that could be set by this. The idea that a player, I mean, it could happen to anyone, but especially seeing that it could happen to somebody like Dearica Hamby, who's been with that franchise for, I think, her whole career since they started in San Antonio and moved. An all-star, a two-time Sixth Woman of the Year, a very key piece to their championship run. To see her be treated this way and get traded months into her pregnancy, that's a really bad stage to set for, what might come forward for another player come in the future. Especially
after her taking a pay cut and staying with the Aces because she knew what they were building. It was special. She was a part of that core. She's a big piece, like you said, six-man woman of the year 2 years in a row, and started coming off the bench. Dearica always did a great job accepting her role. And she's a big piece of what they built. And I know a lot of people were saying, she missed, a lot of time during the playoffs. But do they get that far without her? No. So it's unfortunate that so much in sports is what have you done for me lately. And she made the sacrifice to take the pay cut. And they kind of, went back on a lot of the things they promised her. So I think players just need to start understanding that it is a business. You have to remove all emotion and all loyalty out of it, honestly, because at the end of the day, teams are going to do what's best for them. And it's unfortunate in that as athletes, our humanity always has a contingency to it. It's, what have you done for me lately? Are you producing? Like, I remember when I was in Indy, the coach didn't want me anymore, our new coach, and she tried to basically suggest that I should retire because I was under a guaranteed contract, so they were gonna have to pay me anyway. We had a phone conversation. She didn't want me to come back, and she said, I think you should retire. And it's like...
It's an interesting decision for you to make for me.
Yeah, and I remember being on the phone. I was in the car, and I just was like, Like, I never treated this... I always was professional. I never was disrespectful to this coach or anything, but because she didn't feel like I could do anything for her anymore, she had other plans for the team. Instead of finding some way to amicably figure out how we can move forward or trade me to a different team, her only suggestion was that I should retire. And she's like, you're making that decision for me? And it was like insulting, but I mean, I got my chef's kiss when we played them when I was in New York and hit the game-winning shot on them. So it's unfortunate, like I said, that the humanity of an athlete always has a contingency to it. And then you see it doesn't matter what sport it is, male or female, a player leaves and makes a decision what's best for them. Where's the loyalty? Where's this? Where's that? But when a team cuts a player, trades a player, then it's a business. It's a business whether it's the player or the athlete. That's why, I mean, not to bring the guys in this, but like when KD went to Golden State, I mean, I didn't necessarily think it was, but that's his decision. That was what's best for Kevin. It's his life. He's living it. And so it's unfortunate. Like, it's just really sad that it's very, what have you done for me lately? And then teams will go back on their word. So it's like, players just have to make sure everything is in writing. If the coach wants to have a conversation, say, make sure your agent's on the conversation, because teams, when it comes down to it, if it doesn't serve them, they'll get rid of you quickly.
And obviously, you've been through the free agency process a bunch of times before. If you are a player right now and you see Dearica come out with something like this, are you starting to ask questions?
I think it's going to open up a lot of, eyes and ears, and make people more conscious of conversations they're having. And when teams are promising you things, I think players are going to rally around. It's just unfortunate that as a woman, like, these are the things that you have to take into consideration, like the family planning aspect of it. And the new CBA, like, that was a big piece of it, and it felt like such a huge win. And that teams can't penalize you for getting pregnant, or, there were things in there for family planning, whether it's, IVF or, adoption. So I don't know. I feel for Dearica, because not only are you going through the emotions and your body changing through the pregnancy, but then you're having to deal with the stress of a team that said they had your back. They were going to do X, Y, and Z. A team that you took a pay cut for because you saw what they were building. And then the moment that things aren't going in their favor and you are doing something for yourself, then I'm washing my hands of you. And if you remove all of that, I don't know what Vegas is thinking anyway, because I'm taking Dearica Hamby over Zowie B every day. So LA won that trade.
Yeah, I mean, it's really shitty, and I don't know how any player in the league can look around and think that this couldn't happen to them if it happened to Dearica, just because of all the loyalty you just laid out and all that she's already proven with that team. Outwardly, it looks like also her teammates really, really like her. Like, they seem like really, really close knit. So this burns, and it if I'm looking at this, I'm curious how many players in free agency are gonna think differently of the Aces now than they did last week, and really start to bring that into focus. I wonder how the PA is going to handle this. I wonder how we can possibly get some stuff changed so that this won't happen to someone else after Dearica. I thought it was incredibly brave of her to speak out, especially in as detailed form as she did, because I think that's probably what she's trying to set forward too, right? Like, this happened to me and I don't want this to happen to anyone else.
I'm proud of Dearica for coming out and saying what she did, because there is I'm sure she wrestled with it. I'm sure she was getting advice saying you shouldn't do this because, it might scare other teams down the line of maybe, you're going to out them too or something. But these are the things that need to happen. If Dearica were on the other side of this and she did something inappropriate, you don't think the team is going to find a way to put that out there? So just have to treat it like a business, and I hope it opens other eyes up. I'm very interested to see what it does to the Aces, and that one, like, she was a big piece of that nucleus and that team chemistry that we liked seeing so much last season. And just I'm sure there's other players on the team that at some point may want children, or just at the basic bottom line, like, that's a player that a lot of these her teammates have played with for a long time, known for a long time, and to see your organization treat somebody that you care about that way, it's going to make you look at them differently. I just think it's extremely disappointing that it is a group of women in that organization, and not only are they vocal about women empowerment and a team made for players by former W players, by former women's basketball players, to treat one of your own like this is just sad.
Agree.